I entered in with the greatest diligence into the search of the elixir of life. Wealth was an inferior object. What glory would attain the discovery if I could? I was guided by childish reasoning. Thus strangely are our souls constructed, and by such light ligaments are we bound to prosperity or ruin. Destiny was too potent, and her mutable laws had decreed my utter and terrible destruction. I gathered the instruments of life around me, that I might infuse a spark of being into the lifeless thing that lay at my feet. His limbs were in proportion, and I selected his features as beautiful. Now that I had finished, the beauty of the dream had vanished. Breathless horror and disgust filled my heart. I rushed out of the room. Throughout the Bible, humanity is described in stories of people delighting in their existence as a creation of a glorious God. Evil comes from within, and the most notorious characters in the Bible serve and worship their own desires. Mary Shelley's classic tragedy, Frankenstein, explores the story of Dr. Frankenstein creating a monster. It's ironic, though. Through creating what he thought was a monster, Dr. Frankenstein turned himself into one, banishing the last shred of humanity he had, the part of him that still yearned for a creator. I opened my eyes. Light poured in upon me again, and I walked, or I believe descended. I started up and beheld the radiant form arise from among the trees. The moon, happy earth, fit habitation for gods. My spirits were elevated by the enchanting appearance of nature. The present was tranquil, and the future gilded by bright rays of hope and anticipations of joy, until I arrived at a village. But I had hardly placed my foot in the door before the children shrieked and one of the women fainted. The whole village was roused. Some fled, some attacked me, till grievously bruised by stones and many other kinds of missile weapons I escaped. My place of refuge was this hovel joined a cottage. I found that one of the windows had a small chink through which the eye could just penetrate. A small room was visible. In one corner sat an old man. A young girl was engaged in arranging the cottage. A young man returned, and the girl met him at the door. The aged cottager won my reverence, while the gentle manners of the girl enticed my love. I withdrew from the window, unable to bear these emotions. Soon after, I found on the ground some books. Paradise Lost. Like Adam, I was united by no link to any other being in existence. He had come forth from the hands of God, a perfect and happy creature, guarded by the special care of his Creator. But I was wretched, helpless and alone. Many times I considered Satan the fitter emblem of my condition. Soon after, I found in my pocket the journal of the 4 months that preceded my creation in the laboratory. I sickened as I read, "Hateful day when I received life. Accursed Creator! Why didn't he form a monster so hideous that even he turned from me disgusted?" I admired the perfect forms of my cottagers and their beauty and grace and delicate complexions. But how was I terrified when I viewed myself in a transparent pool. I became fully convinced I was in reality the monster that I am. The cottagers, when they should become acquainted, overlook my personal deformity. I fixed to enter the dwelling when the blind old man should be alone. "Who is there? Come in. I am a traveler in want of a little rest. It would greatly oblige me if you'd allow me to remain a few minutes before the fire. Enter, and I will try. But unfortunately, my children are far from home, and I am blind. I'm afraid I shall find it difficult." "Do not trouble yourself, my kind host. I look around and have no relation or friend upon earth. These amiable people to whom I go have never seen me. I'm full of fears, for if I fail there, I am an outcast to the world forever.
Do not despair. The hearts of men are full of brotherly love and charity.
They are kind, but they are prejudiced against me. Where they ought to see a friend, they see only a detestable monster.
Cannot you undeceive them?
I am about to undertake that task.
Perhaps I may be of some use in undeceiving them. There is something in your words that persuades me that you are sincere.
Excellent man, I thank you. Oh, you raise me from the dust by this kindness.
May I know the names and residence of these friends? At that moment, the cottage door was open.
Who can describe their horror? Now is the time. Save and protect me. You and your family are the friends whom I seek.
Oh, great God! Who are you?
Agatha fainted, and Felix dashed me to the ground with a stick. I could have torn him limb from limb. But my heart sunk within me, as with a bitter sickness. Oh, Frankenstein, author of my being and its unspeakable torments. But I was the slave, not the master. An impulse which I detested but dare not disobey.
I saw the figure of a man advancing towards me.
It was the wretch whom I have created. Its ugliness rendered it too horrible for human eyes. Devil, do you dare approach me? How then must I be hated, who am miserable beyond all living things, yet you, my creator, detest and spurn me. The tortures of hell are too mild a vengeance for thy crimes. Begone, or let us try our strength in a fight, in which one must fall. But am I not alone? Oh, Frankenstein, I am thy creature. Remember that I am thy creature. I ought to be thy Adam. But I am rather thy fallen angel, whom thou drivest from joy for no misdeed. Everywhere I see bliss from which I alone am irrevocably excluded. Let your compassion be moved.
In this instant, I felt what the duties of a creator towards his creature were.
I demand a creature of another sex, but as hideous as myself. We shall be monsters. Our lives will not be happy, but they will be harmless. Let me see that I excite the sympathies of some existing thing.
Did I not, as his creator, owe him all the portion of happiness in my power to bestow? No. You have made me wretched beyond expression, even though I curse myself. Curse the hands that created you. Begone! Relieve me from the sight of your detested form.
The miserable series of my being is wound to its close. Oh, Frankenstein, self-devoted being, what does it avail that I now ask thee to pardon me? Alas, he is cold. He cannot answer me.